So what we're going to be talking about today is how to graph a quadratic function in standard form. Okay, so we're basically dealing with standard form equations that are in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c. Now, one thing that we need to know, and you've graphed it, I know, on the graphing calculator kind of to check our work, but when we look at this, we call this a parabola. All right, this is a term that we need to be familiar with. Now, if a is greater than 0, the parabola opens upward. Okay, and so this parabola that we have a picture of, our a is greater than 0, it's pointing, so our parabola is going upward. If a is less than 0, the parabola opens downward. And what that means is it would be kind of like that. Okay, so first of all, we need to know what our axis of symmetry is, okay? Well, our axis of symmetry basically is the line, if you look at this parabola, that if we were to fold it over on itself, the axis of symmetry is basically that point on the x-axis that says, okay, if we went straight down on that line, if we said x equaled whatever value it is and folded it over, that it would be perfectly equal on both sides. So our axis of symmetry is found by using this formula. Negative b over 2a. Okay, negative of b over divided by 2a. Okay. Our vertex, okay? Our vertex is just this. Our vertex is the point at which our parabola begins, basically, where it goes both ways. And our vertex, in order to find that, we're going to substitute our axis of symmetry into the equation. All right, and we'll see this. We're going to practice this, don't worry. And the y-intercept, where our parabola is crossing the y-axis, our y-intercept is going to be c. Because if you change all your x's to 0, especially when you're looking at an equation of ax squared bx plus c, whenever we substitute in 0 for x, then a and b are basically wiped away and all you're left with is c. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at this in motion, and we'll definitely practice more of these in class as well, so don't freak out right now. Okay, so it says sketch the graph of y equals x squared minus 2x minus 3. Well, the first thing I want to do is I want to factor this. So I'm going to go ahead. This is a simple enough one where I can say x minus 3, x plus 1. Okay, so there's my factored equation in factored form. Here we go. X minus 3, x plus 1. All right. So intercepts. All right, so our intercepts for x, our x-intercepts are going to be -1, and it's going to be +3. All right, so our x-intercepts are going to be -1 and 3. Our y-intercept, remember we said it's c, our y-intercept is going to be -3. Okay, so we have our x-intercept, we have our y-intercept. Let's keep going. Okay, so now what we want to do, the next thing on the list is the vertex. Before I figure out my vertex though, I want to determine my axis of symmetry. Now our axis of symmetry is found by doing the negative of b divided by 2a. If I look at my equation, b is negative 2, so I have negative of negative 2 over 2a, which is 1. So 2 times 1. Negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1, but we do the opposite of that. So my axis of symmetry is going to equal 1. Okay? So I found my axis of symmetry by using this equation right here. Now, to find my vertex, I'm going to go back to my equation of x squared minus 2x minus 3. Okay, I have my x squared minus 2x minus 3. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to substitute 1 into that equation. So 1 squared minus 2 times 1 minus 3. 1 minus 2, because 2 times 1 is 2, 1 minus 2 is negative 2, minus 1 minus 2 is negative 1. Negative 1 minus 3 is negative 4. Okay, so my axis of symmetry is my x value. Okay, that's an x value. But by substituting that x in there, negative 4 is my y. So my vertex is going to be 1, 4, negative 4. That is my vertex. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start putting some of these points in. All right, let's see. My y-intercept is negative 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. My x-intercepts, or my zeros, are negative 1, positive 1, 2, 3. My vertex is 1, negative 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, here we're starting to take shape. So let's go ahead and put some of these points in here. Let's see. I have, let's see, negative 1, and I have 0. I'm looking at my zeros, okay. I have 3, 0. Okay, let's see. 0, negative 3. That's my y-intercept. So these were my x-intercepts. This is my y-intercept. This next one is my vertex. Okay, and so finally, let's go ahead and choose another value. And let's go ahead and put in, just say 2. Okay? So what I can do is substitute 2 into the equation. Let's see. 2 squared is 4, minus 2 times 2, which is 4, minus 3. 4 minus 4 is 0, minus 3 is negative 3. So my final point is going to be 2, negative 3, and over 2 down 1, 2, 3. Now, we have gone ahead and created 5 different points for our parabola, and so now we can go ahead and sketch it to look like this. Now, if you want to put more points in to know exactly where it goes up there, that's perfectly fine. Okay, I'm not going to worry about domain and range right now. Let's go on to our next example, which is our x, or our a, is negative. So that means that we're going to have a graph that goes like this. The first thing I'm going to do is pull my negative out and rewrite my equation as x squared minus 4x minus 5. Now I can go ahead and factor it. I have x minus 5 and x plus 1. Okay, so in factored form, x minus 5, x plus 1. My intercepts are going to be, for x, my intercepts are going to be -1 and 5. And my y-intercept is my c value. My y-intercept is going to be 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And I go back 1. Oh, yep. -1 and +5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So now let's find our axis of symmetry. I have negative b over 2a. Okay, so I'm going to have my b value is 4 over 2 times -1. That's all negative. 4 divided by 2 is 4 divided by -2 is -2, and -2 made negative is +2, or the opposite of -2 is +2. Okay, so that's going to be my axis of symmetry is right there at 2. Is x equals 2 is my axis of symmetry. My vertex, okay, I'm going to substitute 2 in for my vertex. So I'm going to say -2 squared plus 4 times 2 plus 5. Now this is a mistake that some of you are going to make. You're going to say -2 squared and make it 4. But we have to square that 2, then make it negative, okay? So it's actually going to be -4 plus 8 plus 5. All right, so 4 plus 5 is going to be 9. So my vertex is going to be 2, 9. Okay, so over 2, up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so let's go ahead and see here. I have -1, 0. I have 5, 0. Those are my x-intercepts, or my zeros. Y would be 0, 5. Our vertex is 2, 9. And so what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and substitute in 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. All right. So that's going to be, if I substitute 3 and I ran out of room over there, you probably didn't. I'm going to write it here. It's going to be -9 plus 12 plus 5. So it's going to be 3 plus 3 plus 5 is 8. And that's going to be 3, 8. So I'll go over 1, 2, 3, up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sure enough, it's going to work out to where I have my negative parabola, okay? Okay, so what I want you to try and do is to go ahead and try the next two on your own. They're very simple equations. Please follow what I did for the positive and negatives in your notes. And then let's see what you can do. We will most certainly talk about example 3 together in class. Thanks.